Marriage is one of the best decisions I ever made.
God ordained and established this covenant.
We
are
are
part of that beautiful union.
So it's time that we promote this unconditional love and help families understand how,
Through prayer,
faith,
commitment,
sacrifice,
humility,
submission,
and the love of God,
you can have a beautiful,
lifelong,
loving marriage. Now, it won't be perfect,
but it will be worth it.
So join us for 28 Days of Love
on February 1st through the 29th at 6 p.m.
as we celebrate love and marriage
and change the visual narrative we see on social media by presenting a healthy marriage
and share the benefits of covenant.
You can expect to hear encouraging testimonies,
communication tips,
how to relate with your mate,
establish new love goals and goals,
write a marriage and family vision, and singles learn how to prepare for your partner,
as well as gain ideas for date night
as a way to reignite and dial up that love flame.
See you Thursday, February 1st at 6 p.m. for
28 Days of Love.
Well, welcome in.
Welcome to 28 Days of Love. I'm Kim.
And I'm Dr. Newton.
Oh, you didn't sing it today?
Yeah, I fooled ya.
Ooh, you didn't sing it today. I'm like waiting for you to sing it because it's not right if you don't sing it.
I got oranges in there.
No, you got a little something in there, right in here and up here. Usually, must have been having a little salad, little things.
Well, I mean, that's been there for a minute.
I haven't seen it.
He lives there.
So everyone, welcome in. Hopefully you saw our post on Facebook letting you know that there's been a slight change, but we are built for that. And so tonight we are just going to take a blast from the past, as Newt mentioned before. Let me see you looking good. In the middle there. So anyway, a blast from the past with all of our old clips. And I might call them old clips, but the truth is that I'm still gaining and gleaning from those clips. So I've been posting some of them, but I tried to tag all the people that were on last year to let you know that we're playing you a little something that you shared last year so that we can glean a little bit further. And for those who just joined us this year, you can check out the clips from 2023. Yeah. All right. So
you ready to roll?
I'm ready to roll.
Okay, well, let's throw one up and let's see what happens here.
So our first group, our first couple is some of our friends, Candace and Demetrius Henderson. And we're going to hear a little bit of what they say, and then we're going to come back in each time and talk a little bit. You guys, please share and post in the chat.
That's assuming that I do this right. Let's see what happens. Go-to strategy to kind of deal with some of that conflict that might arise because you're following your mission and just doing what's natural for you.
Preferring one over the other.
So is that easy, hard? I mean, is it easier now over the years you've been married, or?
I think that it comes and goes in waves. There's times where it's easier than others, and there's times where it's really challenging. Like, it takes a lot of intentional connecting to know where your partner is in that, roller coaster ride that you're on, and trying to come out of where you are, because they might be seeing the same thing or feeling the same thing, and just try to see it from their side for a moment. Sometimes it's a moment. Sometimes it's more. But in the big picture, that's it. Keeping an eye on the big picture. And the big picture is that we get through this life together, and that these are going to come and these are going to go. But what are we okay? Like that check. Are we okay? Are you okay? I'm not okay. Being honest with yourself. I'm not okay. And being able to say that to, your spouse, like, I just am not okay right now.
Mute.
Look, it's my fault.
I didn't mean to mute it.
So anyway, we were talking about what the Hendersons mentioned. They talked about considering the big picture. So not necessarily everything from day to day, but our big picture, our from the long run, it's this. This is what we're focusing on. Are we okay?
Are we okay?
And so you were talking about the men sometimes.
Yeah, I was saying that that's another thing that we need to, as men, we have to realize that our wife is a safe place.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times we want to seem tougher, stronger because of society or whatever programming we've had, and don't realize that they already kind of know something's not right.
Yeah.
So that communication, to be able to say and be okay with saying, I'm not okay.
Right.
Even if we don't really understand, but your
Yeah.
wife's a safe space.
Yeah. And the same thing for me. My husband's a safe space. And so I just have to be able to be comfortable enough to let him know, listen, I'm not feeling okay about this. I know there's a transition happening, but I'm going to be okay, but I'm always okay with you.
Right.
That part.
Right.
So that I think the Hendersons really hit something hard there. They hit it on the head. Okay, so we're going to move on, and our next is Jonathan and Cindy Strawbridge. And these two, I'll let you hear.
So what are your go-to strategies when that conflict arises, in your marriage, around anything? How do you deal with it?
Well, I think the first thing to think about is these two words, react and respond. There's a difference between reacting.
We're going to post it in the chat.
Post it in the chat. Post it in
Oh, my phone. I need my phone.
React. You will react in emotion, and that can end ugly and cause things to blow up, become worse, and it's could be a not good situation. Versus responding, you're taking a moment, you're thinking before you're speaking, you're maybe stepping away for a moment, maybe you're not even saying a word, but you come back the next day and say, hey, last evening when we had this conversation, such and such and such and such. The other thing that we have learned, another little phrase that we have learned from someone we respect is, I love you, right? And when I have a conversation with, I love you, right? The other person knows something's coming, so let me just prepare myself because there's going to be some type of correction here or, something like that. So that's probably.
Yeah, I think that was our pastor that does that right. It's like, I love you, but we know that means you're in trouble.
So thank you, Strawbridges, for that.
Yes.
Yes.
How many of y'all say that? I know I love you, right?
But I got something I got to tell you.
Yeah, I don't know what I say. Or do we say something? I don't know.
Well, I think there's been times when you were like getting ready to tell me something, but you were like, I wasn't going to say anything.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of like your go-to thing.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to say anything, but don't take this the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the things you said.
Oh, I do.
Yeah. Do I say anything?
Yeah.
What do I do?
Can we talk? You got time to listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do have go-to strategies, and I think
yours is more the time. It's always I'm in the bed upstairs, either about to go to bed or just got up.
Yeah, I'm an early morning or a late night because I don't want to go to sleep with having those thoughts or something, and then I also don't want to go through my day upset about something. So I pretty much, and then that's also the time that the Lord talks to me.
Oh, okay.
And lets me know things that I need to work on.
So he told you to wake me up.
No. I'm saying it's the time. It's the time the Lord talks to me about things that I need to get together.
Oh, me and Lord might have to talk. I said, can you tell her to hold up a minute?
I'm done. No. Okay, so
let me get another hour. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm trying to do a little bit better because I did used to wake you up, but now I try to wait till you're woke. See that, you guys? But go-to strategy. So I do need to work on that. So he's revealing it. Those are things we have to listen to. So
I'm just playing.
He says he's playing. Okay.
I mean, it is what it is.
Okay. So thank you, Strawbridges, for that, thinking of that go-to strategy and then preparing ourselves or mate for what it is that we're about to say, that we don't hurt them, we don't want to offend them, we don't want to, we really want to have a conversation with them, but we want to be respectful.
Yeah, because I know one of the things that I do, and I work on this not just in our marriage relationship, but in my professional pursuits and interactions as well. As a leader, is because I'm always multitasking. There's always more to do than I'm kind of able to do. I always have a list. So whether I'm doing it or not, I always have a list. And so when she comes and kind of prefaces it like that, I've been trying to practice or to hear that preface. It kind of puts me in the mode, okay, kind of stop what you're doing, finish this thought and then stop and kind of pay attention, because she deserves that attention. So that's, I think, kind of what that, I know you love me, right? Preface does for me.
So the other thing is, Newt's right. I always go in, and he's like busy all the time. And when he has those down moments, I'm probably at work or busy myself. So I take a chance. But what Newt doesn't realize that he does, he just busts right. He just busts right in and starts talking. And I could be in the middle of something, and I'm like still trying. I'm nodding. I'm shaking my head. I'm trying to give him that I'm receiving the communication. I'm getting it, but I'm pretty much trying to finish something. But I learned just recently with the Wallace that communication isn't just one person talking to the other, but it's actually being able, that person receiving and understanding is two-way. So I'm probably not really giving Newt undivided attention when I do that.
Well, so it's kind of, we could spiral this rabbit trail, this conversation, but when you spend time together, you kind of get to know each other. So I'm the guy who, I don't know, the conversation could be on HIJK, right? And I just start talking about B and C, just because it's there for me at that moment. And I just start talking halfway in and expect you to know what I'm talking about,
True.
And so we just had, our daughter was here, a little while ago, and I did that. I came out and started talking, about something because it was on my mind. But they were having a whole nother conversation. Kim understood because she knows me. But my daughter kind of looked at me, and it was actually kind of disruptive, and I'm wondering why she's looking at me like that, Well, I just walked in and just started talking about B and C, and they were on LK, LMN,
Right.
So those prefaces, they're kind of needed. It gives the person a chance to adjust and get ready.
That's a good way to put it. I never even thought of that. That's what that does. It preps the other person. So wives and husbands, think about that.
Yeah.
Because
that makes sense to me. I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with you.
Right.
You understand? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
So thank you, Strawbridges. That was really powerful. So the next one we have my cousin Ante and her husband Dre, and I'm gonna let you hear what they had to say, and then we're gonna come back and give our commentary.
Oh, my phone! I need my phone.
React. You will react in emotion.
I told you.
And that can end
told you that,
and cause things to blow up, become worse, and it could be a not good situation versus responding. You're taking a moment, you're thinking before you're speaking, you're maybe stepping away for a moment. Maybe you're not even saying a word, but you come back the next day and say, hey, last evening we had
Hi,
a conversation.
Sean. My son, brother Sean. Happy birthday,
the other thing that we
He spent 99 stars.
Okay. How you doing?
Happy birthday.
Frog, I see
We
you.
learning.
Oh, there they
It's
go.
like the same thing with
All right, here we
marriage.
go.
I have to be patient.
Wow.
Patience.
Sometimes it can get things could get rocky or out of line or out of sync or whatever. You have to be patient. It's a patient thing. Life is about patience.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's about patience.
Yes, it is.
And I could be a little difficult,
I have to admit, I want you to
It's just that I think.
Uh-oh. I know it's still more.
And then it would get worse.
Keep
Yeah,
coming,
we
keep
coming at
keep
each
coming
other.
at-
The argument would elevate, then we saying stuff that we don't mean,
Exactly.
bringing the past up, and this and that. So, you know, I was like, you know what? If it gets almost to that point, just go and
That's so
take a
good.
breather, drive around a corner, walk around a corner, take the dog out, something.
Wow.
That
Wow.
and let's talk about what just happened. You know,
Mm.
so we don't have to go to bed like this.
Right. That part.
Because, you know, it's not worth it. It's
Together. What are some of those differences?
All right, here we go. So, listen, you guys, please forgive us tonight because we're sliding and yeah, we're doing all that. But nonetheless, the message is still there.
Yeah.
You know, Ante and Dre, thank you because they both talked about how, you know, when you have a disagreement, or Newt likes to call them
Spirited.
fellowships.
Mhm.
Where did you get that from?
I don't know. Somebody said.
Somebody said it, but those spirited fellowship, was it Larry Colbert?
I have no clue.
Somebody from 28 Days of Love. But anyway, those spirited fellowships, when you're talking and you both have your opinion and your feelings is strong, this is what I believe, this is what I think. And sometimes when we do that, we overlook the other person and we just come pouncing on them, wanting them to see it our way. And Ante and them mentioned that when you do that, you know, it causes so much heat. Yeah, it can blow up before you know it. You're saying things you don't mean.
Right.
You know, you're saying stuff that you really don't mean. You feel it at that time,
Yeah,
so you think you mean it at that time.
But feelings lie, and that's what we have to realize.
That's right. Feelings lie.
change. They change. You know, they change. I can walk from in my office to out here, and my feelings have just changed. I was
Yeah.
warm in my office, and I'm cold out here.
That's true.
You know, so we can't. You know, we shouldn't put so much stock in our feelings, and especially if you want your marriage to go. It's about maturity.
That's
But
good.
one of the things that I like about that that Ante, what's her husband's name?
Dre.
Dre, we're saying is that giving each other the space,
Yep.
giving each other that space, so the grace to have that space. And Kim and I didn't learn that.
Mm-mm.
We were in California, so we were 13 years in.
Yeah.
You know, before we realized, okay, just give them a moment. You know, we wanted to fix everything right then. We had some tumultuous times and a lot of, you know, there was always pressure. We were always on.
Yeah.
And that's what we became accustomed to.
Yep.
So we didn't give each other time or a chance to just kind of exhale for a minute, capture our thoughts, get our feet under ourselves, you know. So when we went away and moved to California, it's just us.
Yep.
So that kind of had to happen.
Yeah.
Because now there's nowhere else to turn.
And no one else is there.
Yeah, it's just us. You know, we're our friends.
Yep.
You know, we're our dinner partners. We're our workout partners.
Yeah,
you know?
we're our besties.
Yeah, so so we had to learn. Okay, I'm going to work out, or I'm going to the room, or well, give me a minute.
Yeah.
You know, and those were things that I think really strengthened the relationship. It let us know that we were on the same team.
Yep.
So instead of trying to push something one way or the other that's actually causing division or making things lopsided, the grace to give each other that space.
Yeah.
Even if you don't need it, she might need it,
Right.
or he might need it. But the grace to give each other that space, that's part of the love in the marriage relationship.
Yep. And you definitely have to honor that, even when you feel like you're on the edge or the verge and you need to say what you have to say.
Right.
When you're looking at that, your mate's face, you're looking at their expression, and you know they cannot handle it right now. You got to step back and say, wait a minute, am I trying to win, or am I trying to really love them? Am I really trying to build something? So you've got to ask yourself, is this worth what I'm about to say, just so that I can feel like I won? Because the truth is, you didn't win at all. If he lost, or you think you won, or you thought you
both lost.
You thought you both lost.
Yeah.
You both lost.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, Ante and Dre Hubbard. That was beautiful. Yeah, next we have Shalinda and O'Kersey. We call him Chubb Miller, the Millers. Check it out.
Chubb, from you to Shalinda.
I think that, I think in a marriage and a relationship, there are lanes, right? There are lanes. We both must stay in our lane. For example, good example is when I cut the grass, right? My lane is the grass. So when Shalinda comes out there, every blue moon, when she does come out there and says, "Hey Chubb, how can I help?" Her lane will always be the assistant. She understands that when she shows up to help in that arena, she knows not to take over. She knows not to do too much. But on the flip side, when it's time to come in the house and become an IT, like hooking up computers and printers and downloading this, that, it's all Shalinda. So I know when we walk back in this house and it's time to hook up computers and start building furniture, my lane is just to sit there and become the assistant.
I'm with you, bro. I'm with you, bro.
Oh my goodness. To me, that one was funny.
Enough said.
And those lanes can flip flop and change, right?
Yeah, I think they over time they blend. We
Yeah.
get a Venn diagram. I'm not sure if the lane flip flops or changed.
Really?
No, I'm not sure. Well, I don't know. It depends. Yeah. I guess they could, depending on the circumstances. Yeah, we've
had some lane changes.
Yes, we have.
Like
Yes, we
there
have.
might have been time when only I was doing certain things or only you were doing them, and maybe my job pulled me away that I couldn't or yours didn't. So then we had to step in those lanes, but I do agree with what he's saying. There's a specific thing that I have that I'm strong in.
Right.
And there's something that Newt's strong in. There's many of those things. So I might have several things I'm strong in, but several things that he's strong in. So obviously there are strengths. And so when he likes to tell this story. So he's laughing because I know exactly what he's saying when he tells why he's laughing, because it's how I pack a car or a closet or organize certain things. That is a strength of mine. Wait, you raised your eyebrows like that's not a strength?
I'm just saying,
What you saying?
It'd be packed.
Well, it's true, but I'm good at that. And so there's times when that's my area of expertise in our relationship.
Yeah.
And then there's an area of expertise that you have. Like, here's another example, folding the towels. So I can take a big old towel and make it so small, it fits properly inside our bathroom cabinet. And I can stack them and I can get a bunch of them in. Well, Newt might fold them with the old-fashioned 4-fold. And it's fine for him, but it doesn't fit in that closet. So I will go in. He likes the way the dishwasher is organized.
I just figured build a bigger closet.
But you have that dishwasher thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I'm good at packing them. I just know that they gotta be facing down if you want to get clean. Can't have the bowl facing up and the water hit it from the bottom and the inside. Got to turn the bowl upside down. We all have lanes, and Kim brought up something that's real important because I don't want to belabor the point, but sometimes they change. Sometimes the driver swaps.
There you go.
We're still moving in the direction that we need to move in, but sometimes the driver swaps. I know there was a time early in our marriage where I went to work and they fired me. To this day, I'm still clueless. What they fired me for, I don't even know why. I really don't even know why.
You still say that.
I know that the place didn't last long after that, so I don't know. But anyway, maybe that was why they needed I don't know.
They needed the money.
Or they dismantling it and couldn't dismantle while I was there. I don't know. That's another story, another time. But anyway, we were brand new, had just bought the house, and so now Kim was in the driver's seat, because she was working, and it was now her resources, her connections,
right,
that were able to get me, repositioned somewhere else so that we can work together and contribute. But those things happen,
that's
in the
what
marriage
I mean.
relationship. So it's okay just changing drivers.
Yeah.
We drive in North Carolina. She might drive some of the way. It's okay. I can get in the passenger seat and chill.
Exactly.
So be okay with that.
Be okay when you have to change lanes.
Yeah.
All right, so we're moving on. These people right here are close to our hearts. This is our son and our daughter in love, Newt and Drina Miller.
Anything from you, Drina? What do you do to help Newt grow?
I pray.
Wow.
I'm not a really big, and this is something that has been a learning experience for me. I'm not really a big talker.
Okay.
Or sometimes I have to go and talk to God first and figure it out and then come back to the table. And sometimes that's frustrating for him because he's at the table right now, or, you know, we're talking about now. And he's like, you know, you don't want to talk about it. And it's like, I do want to talk about it, but I know sometimes, you know, when emotions are running high and the feelings are all over the place.
Right.
So for me, that's not always the best time for me to talk because I may say something that I might not even mean in 3 minutes to an hour. Like for him, I pray.
Wow.
Because
she's just telling y'all she's smarter than me. That's all. That's all that was.
No.
That's all that is, Ray. That's all that is.
That is right.
No, I just want to make sure that I mean, I know we're all gonna make mistakes, but I just want to make sure I get it right. So I'm not quick to speak. You know, I listen and I observe and I go talk to God about it. And I know more than anything, you know, God gotta, you know, I pray to God so he can help me help him. So that's what I do.
You got to see our handsome grandson.
I messed up.
That's okay, Newt.
We're gonna bring you back in. I'll figure it out. We will figure it out in the next one.
Yeah. So Drina says she prays. Not that she doesn't want to talk about it.
Right.
It's not that she's not willing to have a conversation about whatever they need to talk about, but she knows that at that time it's not the best time for her to talk.
Right.
You know.
Right. So she has what's called emotional intelligence.
Yep.
Emotional intelligence is something that we don't get taught a lot, especially in working class kind of families. But it's knowing how your reaction to what's going on around you is impacting those who are around you. So it's not just knowing how things make you feel, but it's knowing how when things make you feel a certain way, what you do to make other people feel a certain way. She's very emotionally intelligent. I mean, what do you do when your child and their wife or husband are strapped like that? I mean, you just sit back and just smile, you know? We're just blessed.
We are blessed. So I love what Drina said. I love when Newt then said she's smarter than him. But nonetheless, I love how they're both so different, but together they make a full package there. So thank you, Newt and Drina Miller. We're gonna go on. We have a sweet young lady who told us that she was in preparation, and her name is Veronica Brown.
So I just messed up the video. So I got to put the video up there and find her. All right. So I'm just going to let y'all know ahead of time. While I put it up there, I got to find her. So bear with me because this is live. See, this is the problem with doing these things live. So bear with me while I scroll through, y'all. All right.
You got it. Right.
Here, I'm gonna leave us up there so at least you can see our faces.
My lane is the grass. So when Shalinda comes out there,
that's the volume.
Man,
is there a way to move them?
I don't know.
Her lane will always be the assistant. She understands that.
Well, it's not hard.
There it is.
Oh, there you go.
There it is. Wait a minute. So it's coming right. It's coming right after them, right?
Right after them.
Let's see.
There we go.
All right, let's go back just a little bit. There. Okay, we just gonna stop right there. How about that?
You got it.
All right.
So names and labels are important. So I would rather say I'm not single, I'm preparing. Because preparing is that I'm getting ready. I'm in expectation that it's going to happen. Amen.
Wow. I love it.
Also, when I think about it as well, I think about a fit. Okay, so I went to dinner on Tuesday with a friend, and they asked me, what would you like to drink? I was like, oh, I'll just take a water cup. So they gave me this cup right here. Okay. So these cups don't come with lids. Right. But I don't want anything floating, in my cup, So I just say, okay, I'm gonna put this lid right on this cup.
Okay.
I put the lid on the cup. It doesn't fit. There's no fit, right? So I'm talking with my friend and everything like that, and my arm almost knocked down the cup. So we know that because this lid doesn't fit, had that knocked it down, all of this would have been poured out, right?
Wow.
But when there's a fit, like this cup, it's a fit. And even though I could have knocked it down, only a little bit would have been poured out. So I'm looking for a fit.
Come on.
Got you.
Now I fit him and he fits me.
And there you go. I fit him, he fits me.
How about that?
Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. So that was one of our young ladies who let us know she was preparing. She's in expectation. She's preparing. She's expecting something great. And while she's expecting this and while she's waiting for this to happen, she's preparing herself so she's ready.
Yeah, go ahead and put her name in the chat. Somebody might.
I thought I did, but I don't see my messages posting here.
Put her Facebook in there.
Yeah, so mine aren't posting over there. Oh, there we are. There she is. Her name's right there. Veronica Brown. As everybody knows. Yep, that's the one right there. Yep.
Right.
There we go.
Yeah.
Veronica Brown let us know that names and labels are important and she's preparing and she's in expectation.
Yes.
So those of you who are also in expectation and preparing, continue to work on yourself and wait for that perfect fit.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, babe.
So one of the things I want to say about the fit thing with the cup is, if you can think of the visual. So she talked about when the cup falls down or gets knocked over, that has the lid that fits on it, right? There's going to be times when things topple in the mechanisms, of your relationship, whether it's, between one another or the bills or, the children acting up or, this one said that one or that one said this one, or this girl you didn't, from your college days 20 years ago came up and said, I'm just joking. That didn't happen. I'm just joking. I got another kid. What? Something gonna knock the cup down is what I'm trying to say, right? The beautiful thing about that fit is when, not if, but when that cup gets knocked down, only a little spills out. So yes. I'm saying that for a couple of reasons, for you to kind of expect some knockdowns, some knockovers, unintentionally. But also, whenever that toppling over happens, there's going to be some loss. There's something that's going to be spilled out. The idea is for you to be such a fit, with your husband or with your wife, so that you minimize any losses that take place when the cares of life come and the storms come and your cup gets knocked over. Because you're going to pick it up quickly. Just think of it. That cup knocked, first thing you do is you pick it up. As quick as you can. So you're going to do that, but you want to avoid losing anything that you've accumulated together. So you need to fit one another. And that's part of that communication and everything that's going on.
Wow. That's so good.
Yeah.
I love that. Good job on your.
Good job on that.
Good job. We're going to move on, friends. It was awesome because, I can stay here all day on this. And we have two of our favorites. We have Shane and Nicole Moore.
What do you do on purpose to help build and grow Shane?
Yeah, to sharpen him.
That is, you know what? I keep it real with Shane. We are a very transparent couple. And we like accountability. I know I like accountability. And so we hold each other to a certain standard. And one thing that I do, which I have to work on with him is, I've grown to be very a matter of fact. So
Okay.
if I don't agree and I feel like I'm right about a situation, I'm going to tell him what a TI is. And then he's always saying, you know, it's not about what you say, it's about how you say it. So
Okay.
I'm learning to say it in a manner where he can receive it well. But I think it's very important that we keep it real with each other, because I think that's a big part of growth. If there's an area where I'm thinking, you know, his perspective might be a little off in this area, maybe you should look at it this way. And then he's quiet. And when I know he's quiet, I know he's kind of in agreement with me, because he's not, you know, going anymore. So he's quiet, he's listening. Yeah. And I know that his perspective is kind of shifting on a topic or something. And I think that's a big part of growth.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it cracked me up when she says that she keeps it real. And what
You ain't keeping it real.
You ain't representing. Keeping it real. She says she keeps it real. Look, we are movie people. When our kids were growing up,
what movie is that?
We told that's the
yeah, pop rap
and the hot sauce.
Yeah.
Yardbird.
The little Yardbird.
Yeah.
A little hot Tabasco.
Yeah, that's the one. I forget what that movie is called. That was that movie. So our family always used movies to
see. I'm gonna find that up.
I know what it is.
What's his name? Eddie Griffin. What's his name?
Give me a minute. Let me finish. This is what I'm talking about.
This
y'all.
one mean Doobie. Doobie know the movie.
Doobie knows the movie. I know it too. Give me a second. I do know it. So anyway, I love that she says we love accountability.
Double Take.
It's called. Yes, the movie's called Double Take. Do you see what I be dealing with here? He was already locked and loaded there. He wasn't gonna let it go. Yes, the movie's called Double Take. But anyway, they said they love accountability. Yeah. And so being honest with each other. And then she mentioned something that I was loving. I'm looking at Shane's expression that once he stops responding or talking back, it's because he has taken in what she said and he's thinking about it, because he's not about winning. He's about them winning. Right. It didn't matter if she was right or he was right. What matters is this best for us? You know? Mm-hmm.
Plus, he's given her space to communicate her way.
Her way.
You know,
oh, that's good.
And that is cultivating that.
Yeah.
Is I mean, that's beneficial. That is beneficial. If that's how you communicate, I'm going to help you cultivate it that way, because it's going to reap leaps and bounds for us, not just here in our household, but everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, so that's kind of what my take was with him. You know, he saw this is how she needs to be. Well, you do that with me. This how you let me just go.
Yeah.
Sometimes
tonight.
I can tell when she's doing that. She just kind of doesn't say anything, just kind of shaking her head, looking at me.
Well, because I'm trying. You're right. That's exactly what I'm doing.
That's when I know I'm talking wreck.
No, I don't think it's that you're talking reckless.
I'm talking reckless. Then I start thinking to myself, all right, dude, what exactly are you talking about right now?
Who are you exactly?
Yeah, maybe you wrong, Who are you trying to convince? You?
That's funny, because sometimes we do that. You could talk yourself right into the correct answer.
Right.
And then you find out, you know what, I done said all that and just come right back to this. And I know that what you said is right. So I'm just going to go with it. So I do respect how Shane just was able to just sit back, listen, and receive.
But it's a necessary skill.
It's a necessary skill.
Because sometimes I just start talking to you because I can't organize it in my head.
Yeah, that's right.
So I mean, I can sit in there and talk to myself, but ain't nobody gonna answer me but me.
And that's a problem.
And I'm already jacked up. So you know what I'm saying? So let me come out here and get this in the air. With my wife, my partner, who's on my team. And who I know is concerned about me in every area of my life, right? And just see what she says,
right?
And when she ain't saying nothing, then I know, all right, you tripping. You tripping. You got to look at this a different way.
And that was something that they were saying,
right.
Like looking at it from another person's perspective. Because if we look at it from our point of view, it's going to be our point of view.
And my best thinking has only gotten me in trouble all my life. So,
how about that?
So I'm not, you think I'm playing? I'm not even playing, like real trouble.
Yeah. That's why we need that's why we need the Lord.
Yeah.
That's why we need the Holy Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
But even in that, Holy Spirit has given you people that you can talk with,
Mm-hmm.
so that you can also say, you know what, I'm not thinking right. I'm not, what I'm saying is not right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I remember one time, I could be honest about this. One time I went and I was talking to Newt about something about how I feel. And I was like so emotional. Anyone knows me, I'm very emotional. I'm just gonna keep it real. And so I was talking to Newt. Look, that's okay. I was talking to Newt, and let me tell you what he said, y'all. He said, that sounds like a demon. That sounds like a devil, a demon is trying to trap you up.
I said,
yeah, this was like almost 2 years ago. And I was like, yeah, it was Jesus. It was Jesus.
Because I was
and he was like, why are you letting that?
She from Parkway.
So when he said it, I stopped quick. And I was like, hold on, you're right. You know, in my mind, I'm like, okay. I was upset at first because I never heard that from him, but I needed it at that time. And so once I got in my room and sat with myself, I was like, okay, why am I thinking stupid like that? That's why God gave me him, because that's the thing we're able to do, to bounce off of each other and check each other. But then there's times when we're celebrating the team.
Because she can tell you one time I did that, but I can give you 50 times she did that to me. Because I was just messed up, man. I needed some straightening. I ain't need no straightening. I needed some straightening. Some SCR, not ST. Man, but that's the beauty of the marriage relationship.
It is.
I'll say this and we can move on.
Babe.
There was a young person. This was a couple of years ago, as you said. It came back to my mind.
Yeah.
We were in California, so this was 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to, I used to hang with the young millennials at lunch. We were working in the building at that time. I was in the building.
Mm-hmm.
And the one guy said, I mean, why are you married? Why you want to stay married? You know, because he couldn't see, one woman. He was still young, right? And my the immediate response to him was, because I knew my past.
Mm-hmm.
I said, man, I got money in my bank account. I have a job. I'm clean.
Mm-hmm.
I go home and everything's there, everything I need. Why do I stay married?
Mm-hmm.
If you'd have left me up to me, none of that would be in place.
Wow.
And I mean, I'm not even playing.
Right.
I'm not even playing. It would not have been in place. So
there's some benefits to this thing.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with looking at the benefits.
And I don't even know what you said to make me to remember that, but I just figured
I was just saying, basically, we check each other and keep it real.
Yes.
And so
you ain't keeping it real.
The checking each other. Say the other part, because I know you can't stop until you say it.
I'm saying in my head.
You already said it, yeah.
That's your part.
You ain't representing. So anyway, that was so powerful. So Shane and Nicole, we like to call her Coco.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for making us aware of how important it is to check on your mate, to keep it real, to love accountability, and Shane for letting us know it's okay to let your spouse communicate the way they communicate.
Maybe you told me you ain't got no rules.
I do remember, look, he can stay here a minute. I do remember telling him, you don't have any rules for your life.
That's what's wrong with you.
What's wrong is you have no rules for your life. And he was like,
she ain't even saying mean. You know what I mean? How y'all?
I didn't do my name. I just said you just don't have no rules for your life.
And I'm like looking at her, trying to think of what to say. And every time I thought of something to say, I was like, well, no. Because I would do that too. Yeah, nah. Whoa. Mm-hmm. I was just concerned with not getting caught.
Right.
Another conversation for another time.
Yeah. Maybe sometime we'll have to really come on here. Mm-hmm. Yes, Coco, checkmate. But yeah, so true. So thank you to the Moores. We love you guys. All right, we're going to move on. Now we've got my baby boy and my baby girl, Jade and Doobie, Anthony and Jade Dorm. Here we go.
Because there's so many times where I'm thinking one thing and she's thinking a completely another thing from what being said. And I'm like, well, where do you get that from? Yes. You know what I mean? But now I can kind of gauge it a little more with other people. Like, okay, so I gotta understand their perspective now. Because now I have this other mind of mine that like she holds a place right here where it's resonating. You know what I mean? In my head when I'm dealing with other people, like, I don't know, Jay probably thinking the same way. Like, so I gotta let me not go off, and let me not feel a way about this, because you know what I mean. She would look at it this way too.
So, I love that.
Right. I like how he said this other mind of mine.
That's good.
That's another note, gentlemen. Write that down. This other mind of mine.
It just makes you kind of realize, like, I guess this person sees me every day. They kind of understand what's going on in my mind and what I'm doing. So we sit down and have conversations about stuff for sure.
Love it.
Yeah, we do a lot of deep dives. I feel like for sure we get deep. I feel like we address stuff head on. Like it's uncomfortable at times, like he said, but it's necessary. So
yeah, and I had to learn to be quiet and just listen for a second, because when I hear things, sometimes my reaction is to respond right away.
Right.
Instead of listening to actually hear what's being said. So I had to learn how to just be like, I'm gonna be quiet. Go ahead. Be quiet. And I would sit there like, I'm being challenged a lot of times. Right. But, it helped me like learn to just listen for a second and see where she's going.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so that helped me a lot,
and
for sure.
With us, I'll say we both come from this mindset of always being right. and me, like, we're both very much like, he feels like he's very smart. I feel like I'm very smart, and it's just like, no, I know what I'm talking about, and he's like, I know what I'm talking about.
Hey, you
so
are.
There are times where we have to both kind of like, bite that bullet and accept, like, you can be wrong.
Gotta concede sometimes. Gotta concede.
Yes. Oh my goodness. You did it again. Because you're clicking the wrong thing. It's okay. Put us up. You'll fix it. So guys, don't worry about the technical tonight. Just take a listen at all that is being said. And I just have to go, oh, look at my brother Sean had to say something dubious, smart, LOL. You don't know your movie. So Sean, cut us a break. We're trying to work on our movies. We getting a little older.
It was double take.
It was double take.
Yeah,
so anyway, I loved what they were saying. I love that Jade and Doobie talked about perspective, because it was kind of what we were saying before. If we look at our point of view, our own perspective, we're always going to agree with ourselves. But he was saying this other mind that he has.
Yes.
Meaning it's not just what he thinks. He now has taken a partner, and they two together are thinking together. So it's not just about what he thinks. It's about what they think. So I thought that was so powerful. Newt is trying to fix the technology. You guys see, there you go, honey. You almost there.
She telling on
one pass.
I'm trying to do it behind the
You
covers.
can't do it behind the covers of the scenes because everybody's looking at you, looking down.
They was listening to you. You had their attention.
So anyway, I love the fact that he realizes that it's not just his mind anymore.
It's something else that came out with Doobie saying how I heard it. What I heard was he said, that he's dealing with others. And because of his relationship with Jade, he thinks, Jade will probably handle this way. Let me chill.
Yeah.
Let me chill. Let me think of it different. So that's an admiration. That's an honor and an admiration for your wife. And that's an amazing thing to have. So much that you'll check your own intentions, your own, not intentions, reflexive activities, and grow because of her and what she brings to the table. So I was super impressed.
Yeah,
that he said it quick and kind of matter of fact.
Also acknowledge that he can be petty.
Right. but that I wanted to let men know in particular that it's okay to learn something from your wife.
Yes.
It's okay to glean something and to change something because of your admiration and honor for her.
Mm-hmm.
That is what she's there for. She is a virtuous woman. She is queen. She is crowned. She does bring something that you don't have, or she wouldn't be help.
Come on.
Help meet.
Talk about that.
Help meet means, listen, I need help because I can't do it myself.
Yes.
Right? So help doesn't mean less than.
Come on.
It means you're just as capable,
Mm-hmm.
and I need that capability to accomplish what's in front of me to accomplish. So the sooner you realize that and recognize that, we'll get out of our man ego.
Yeah.
And we'll sit down for, like my dad used to say, sit down and listen. You just might learn something. So
instead of just saying the man ego, I'm going to say the migo, because that's pretty much what it is. It's all about
that's good.
me.
Well, see, you coming up with, that's a shirt. Oh, I shouldn't be telling y'all. That's our shirt.
The other thing
but like my grandson did, I write my name. That's my shirt. My spot.
It's right his name. The other thing I think I love that Jade said is we do deep dives.
Yes.
She talked about those deep dives and understanding that they're uncomfortable, but they're necessary.
That's the Hannah Penn, able and ambitious.
That's them able and ambitious, smart kids. And then I love that they said, now, my son said, now I listen to hear.
Yes.
So listen, it's okay that if you don't have it all perfect yet, you're working towards something. Right. And as long as you're come on.
That's what it's for.
That's what it's for. That's what I'm here for. That's what he is here for. To help, we're going to build each other. Mm-hmm. We're going to grow up together, kind of like our guest last night said. Right. We're growing up even at this age. Mm-hmm. You know, things are changing, things are growing, things are blossoming.
She's still growing up.
Yes, Carla, courageous conversations. That's exactly what it is. It's those courageous conversations that you're like, you know what, it's going to be tough. And Newton and I talk about the 4 R's. We have those rough, those real rough. We have those conversations. Yep. And I'm telling you, we look for those results,
Recovery and results.
Recovery.
Real rough recovery results.
Yep.
Get the book. Baggage Claim.
Get that Baggage Claim.
It's on Amazon. Baggage Claim. Mm-hmm. Kimberly and Newton Miller.
Get that book. You'll know a little bit about the story. That's right.
Goes with, yeah.
We're still working on some of those things, but definitely check out Baggage Claim.
The young couple says they're enjoying the work.
Oh, I'm glad they like it. Okay. Well, we're going to continue on, and our next guest. Did you want to say something else?
So, disclaimer: I can't. You're going to hear some overlap. You're going to hear Doogie and I'm again just a little bit. Just because
he's still working on
messed it up.
We ain't gonna talk about the struggling technician.
Mindset of always being right, like in me, like we're both very much like, he feels like he's very smart. I feel like I'm very smart, and it's just like, no, I know what I'm talking about, and he's like, I know what I'm talking about.
Hey, you
so there are times where we have to both kind of like, bite that bullet and accept, like, you can be wrong.
Gotta concede sometimes. Gotta concede.
And so then now this is my sister Llewellyn Coleman.
Would have just took a little more time.
Mm-hmm.
What would that look like for the person who's saying, I feel like my time clock and I feel like I need to do this? What would that look like, and why is that important?
Mm-hmm. So for me, I felt like I should have took more time because I wasn't spiritually where I thought I was.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I didn't know it all. I still don't, but you know what I mean? There were some things I just didn't know, And so a lot of times you're learning together, right? Mm-hmm. And it was so difficult because I have one way I want to do things. You have one way you want to do things. Mm-hmm. So for me, like time periods could be different. It could be 3 months for somebody, and that's just enough time. It could be a year for this person. It's based on where you are. What you can handle. So for me, no, I couldn't. It was a lot, I wasn't fully ready for what happened. I didn't expect that. I had a totally different view of what marriage was, right? Because we learn it. We watch TV, we watch the movies, we read the books, we see the love stories. If anybody know me, I'm watching comedies and love stories. That's just what I do. Right. So you watch that. So I had an expectation of what marriage was. So when it smacked me in the face, I realized, hold on. You don't get to that part of it until you work through some things.
Yeah, that's good.
Woo!
Well, I think the first thing to think about is
he did it again, but wait. Listen, she dropped some knowledge right there. That's my sister. And I love the fact that she came on and shared life after divorce and was able to be pure and honest about where she actually was.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes we think because of the divorce that we were right. This person was wrong. But she actually had to admit that she was not where she needed to be spiritually. And when it came, it just boom. You know, she mentioned about the fairy tale mindset because we read those novels, we watch these love stories. Lifetime story lasts an hour, but our lifetime, our real lifetime lasts from the beginning that we're born until we leave here. And so,
it's not scripted.
It's not scripted. There is no fairy tale marriage. Please, have you read about Princess Diana and her, you know, Charles, when they first, there was problems, there was turmoil, and they have money and they were listed as kings and queens and princesses and all that. Listen, there is no fairy tale to this thing. There is none.
So let's kind of put something, because I want to make sure that we don't walk away with a mindset that marriage, this thing called marriage, is this rough, hard, unachievable. And marriage is actually simple. It's very simple. You choose to get married. You choose to get married once solistically to each other, and then in covenant, you know, in a ceremony in front of God, and you seal those vows. That's simple. That marriage itself is simple, and it's choosing to just connect with that covenant and stick and stay. That's marriage in itself. The thing that's really difficult is us, because Newt was the only boy, and his sisters were 6 years older and 8 years older, and his dad was 40 when he had him, and he was spoiled and had his way, and you know, and got the benefit of this and the benefit of that, and there was a generational gap. So he was sneaky because nobody was watching him, and you know, so Newt came to this marriage with a bunch of stuff, you know, and all the stuff that Newt came to the marriage with was the checklist under a single person. You know, and that was how I was operating. I was seeing life. Don't let your left hand know what your right hand's doing. You know, don't nobody care about you like you care about yourself. Self-preservation is the first law of nature. These are things that were driven to me. Now, they're not bad things, but the perspective of them and how you apply them to this marriage, because we are becoming one flesh. That is the difficult part. Becoming one flesh, not marriage. Right. So if you want to be married, right, just be married. But the work is me becoming one with Kim, and allowing and giving grace to Kim for her to become one with me.
And so the becoming part, I'll be coming to you with changes, and you'll be coming to me with changes, and we will become that one. So we look at these, I'm still going to say this whole mindset thinking that things are supposed to happen that quickly. No, it's going to take some time. On our book, we talked about how we literally had to put things on the table. Things that were in my bags from my past, things that came with Newt, and we had to decide what worked for us. And we didn't get it right the whole way, because some of our things we still kept. We found out later, whoa, this ain't gonna work for us.
I think we're still unpacking.
We're still you are unpacking bags until you are no longer here.
Because you don't know what's in them.
You don't know what's in them.
I mean, not to get a whole nother conversation, but I think I said it earlier this morning in prayer, for the first 13 years of your life or so, you've been programmed with information from your parents, from your friends, from your teachers, it's not until till you turn 13, 12, 13 that you come out of the developmental stage, that you're not just a sponge.
Right.
It's not until then that you start to create your own identity.
Right.
Right. So for that first 13 years, you've been programmed. That's not going to just go away overnight, especially if you don't know it needs to.
Yes.
You know, so now that's what your momentum is. That's what you're operating from. You know, you're an adult, you know,
yes,
walking in your own stuff, wondering what is this before you realize those things about yourself.
Yep.
So
you got to work on becoming who God created you to be.
Yeah.
There's an initial you, and then there's one that's been created over time, or a modified. Yeah, you got to get back.
Man, we talking long.
That's okay. We're good. All right, so we're going to move on. We now have Audrey and James Brown. Check it out.
For the member, look square that camera.
Come on,
men. The biggest test in your marriage or your soon-to-be marriage is how to deal with the power that God has given you through his word. Don't be a bully because he calls you the head.
Come on.
You know what I mean? Don't tell your wife, because I said so, because God said I can say so.
Come on.
That's not it. That's not what God intended.
Come on.
That is not what he intended. If you're carrying it like that, that's called a miscarriage.
Come on.
That's what that is. You're setting yourself up for failure.
I like that.
So you really gotta figure out how to deal with that power that God has given you.
There it is.
Go ahead and keep going.
My God, there it is. Don't be a bully and use the authority that God gave you.
Yes. I love the way
over your stuff. I know.
It's a miscarriage. If you carry it that way, it's a miscarriage.
Oh, God.
What happens with a miscarriage? Whatever's supposed to be birthed cannot, it's no longer alive. You kill it. Carry your authority correctly. Correctly.
Thank you, James
Brown
and Audrey Brown.
Yes.
Thank you.
I challenge you, if you're a man, you're watching this, and maybe some women want to hear this, but I challenge you, especially if you're a man, to look at that scripture that says, wives, submit to your husbands. But before that, it says husbands, or after, whatever, it's husbands, love your wives as what? As Christ loved the church. So I want you to think about that. How did Christ love the church? What did he do for the church? He died for it. And guess what? There wasn't even a church yet. Paul, they hadn't even gone out into all the nations. There wasn't no Paul and Peter and Silas. You know, they weren't going to Corinthians and Titus. They didn't have those things happening. That didn't happen until after Jesus died. Jesus gave his life for something that wasn't even there yet. So it could be. So we're to love our wives for what the potential that's in them. And lay ourselves down first so that can be.
Come on.
That's what you're not going to get that submission unless there's something to be submerged under. That's what it is. He said, I'll make you a helper meet for you. If you're not doing nothing, there's nothing for them to help you with. So guess what they're going to do? Because that's their design. They're going to help themselves. They're going to start their own business. They're going to write their own book. They're going to create their own accounts. They get involved in whatever. So don't get mad because you think submission is about position. It is not about position at all. It's about responsibility. It's about foresight. That's why we say marriage simple as pie, P-I-E.
Yes, come on.
To provide, invest, and empower. That's what we are for one another. I got a little excited on that.
I'm glad you did, because I think it needs to be said. Give your spouse something to submerge under. If you have nothing, they can't submit to nothing.
Yes.
All right.
I like that, Carla. Yes. See the potential until it's realized, Carla. But lay yourself on the line so that potential can manifest. Woo! It's not going me just seeing it. In no disrespect, it needs to happen. I need to see it first, but I need to now do something to create the bridge, the pathway, whatever needs to happen. Sow the seed, water the soil so that thing can grow and manifest. That's my job as a husband.
Yeah.
Period. I cannot expect submission in any of the ideas, any of the vision, the things that I see for us, which is for us anyway, unless I first do that. Because he told me to leave mother and father and cleave. Never told her.
Right. Because he know I'm gonna need my mama.
Never told her. All right.
No, you good.
I get
Carter
passionate.
said no disrespect taken. You are teaching.
I get passionate about that
Yes,
because just for years we as men have like James said, bullied our partners.
Yeah.
Bullied our better halves, bullied our Deborahs. You know, bullied our conscience. Bullied the one that teaches us that we need rules so we can operate without rules.
Right. Right. Oh, that was good.
So anyway,
that was good. I want him to lay himself on the line because I want a lobster dinner soon. So I'm gonna be late.
You get lobster dinner anytime you want.
Just messing with him.
Go get one tonight. You
No, baby.
I won't eat lobster, but you know,
I just had to mess with him for a little bit.
I'm sure they got something there I like.
Audrey and James Brown, thank you.
Oh man, powerful. What is her thing? Prayer. What is her name on Facebook?
Hold on.
Something prayer to saints. Something preparing.
Equipping the saints.
Equipping the saints. Yeah, you want to check her out.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. All right, so we're going to move on now. We have Isha and Tom White. Man. These two just blessed our hearts.
Had my allergies acting up.
Had our allergies acting up.
Let me see if I can get it right.
Oh, our goal as kids that we both grew up from broken like homes. Like we didn't have our dads in our home, you know. So our goal was never, if we had kids, that it would never be a broken home. There would be no one else raising our kids. Right. We would raise our kids together. So that's what started at first, like our goal. And then we got pregnant early. So almost made it official that we said this that beforehand, and now we actually are having a son. And as our, when our son came into our life, it just changed a whole lot. I became a mom. It was everything that's going to be better for him.
Wow.
So that was my goal. Whatever was going to be beneficial for my baby at that, that's what I went with.
Because when I said that back then, all the things she said, well, we can't be married if you're not holding down a job, if you're stop messing around. So once we got married, I kind of took what those words says to love and cherish, to honor and obey, through sickness and health. Like I really, built with that concept and say, this is what we're going to do, no matter how ugly it looks. At the end of the day, you can turn around, look over your shoulder, and I'm right here with you.
Ooh, that's a
that's the same thing. How what I love about her, because she whipped me into shape. Like, she didn't let me be less than a man. Like if I was, she told me. Like, like if my mom was here to this day, like I didn't, at times I didn't know if I was her son or Isha was her daughter. Because my mom did not, no matter what I did, she did not allow me to put the blame on her. You got to take ownership. You know what I'm saying? And she just absolutely loved Isha because she saw what Isha was doing for her son. Like, because I didn't open up to too many people.
Yeah.
I didn't open up to too many people at all, but I opened up to her and I just gave her everything. Like I said, God knew what he was doing. God definitely knew what he was doing. I would need her in my life for everything that transpired as the years went by.
My God. God knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
I loved how they had goals in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because of, and you talk about this a lot, how sometimes a painful situation can cause a great movement to occur because of they didn't necessarily have their fathers in their home. They had established some things within themselves when they agreed to this relationship.
Yes.
So I just thought that was so awesome. And then her goal was whatever my baby needs, it ain't about me now. I've decided to embark down this path. And since I'm going down it, I got to go full force.
Right. I love that. And I think that's I'm not coming at anyone. I guess I am, if I'm going to say it, if it's in my head that way. I'm not coming at anyone. I think I'm coming at a thing. As I watch, I've had opportunity to work in school systems and things of that sort. So I got to see a lot of different ways that parenting happens and things of that sort. And I think what Isha said is key to remember, is that we are responsible for this young life to become a productive, a bigger, older, contributing life.
Yes.
So that's going to cost us something. You know, not just physical money. It's going to cost us time. It's going to cost us, inconvenience. It's going to sacrifice when we want to go. It just can't go there right now. I have to use this for this because this child who's innocent and didn't ask to be here, God is entrusting me to lay a path.
Come on,
protect. Pour into this child to create a way for them, an alley for them to operate in their purpose. So I say that to say this, and I kind of struggle with it because I don't want to really, I don't ever really want to hurt anyone's feelings, but we have to think about what we're doing as parents.
Yes,
that's not an easy job. So so what? You're tired.
Yep.
So what? You don't feel like dealing with this or dealing with that. It's there. You have to deal with it. The need is in you're it. You're it. So I love that she said that. And it's easier to say than done,
But they did.
Yes. And it's not about going up and fighting and fussing with somebody because you don't like what they did with child, but it's about holding the child accountable and taking the time to teach and talk and provide and help with, and all right, I'm off on a tangent, but it's like little nuggets that are coming out that are not just necessarily about marriage, but the things I'm gonna call them the peripherals. The printers and the screens. Like you got the computer, but now you got the screen and you got the printer and the mouse.
Go with it.
They're the peripherals, but it's not necessarily the computer. Those are the things that I'm hearing tonight. I'm hearing those peripheral things that you can't. The computer don't work without. So
if you're expecting to see your children do well, you also have to put yourself in a position where it cannot just be about you. And they made that clear. Tom also said something else about when I look over my shoulder, she's there. But when you look over your shoulder, I'll be there. You guys remember Michael Jackson, just look over your shoulder, honey. I'll be there. But I love that because he meant that thing. He also talked about how he honors those vows. He said them that day and he meant it. And they are still married and doing amazing. They've been married as long as us. So, all right. Thank you, Tom and Isha White. And we're moving on to Mike and Alicia Capo.
You gotta know, like, if you're gonna be in a relationship with somebody at our age, it has to be because there's an end game. And it's not just date to have fun. It's not date to just kill time with somebody. You have to, just like Dr. Neal said, time is of the essence. And that's one thing that we don't get back. It is our most valuable asset. But where we plant our time is where we're going to see our return. And so when in this relationship, we made that decision. We were intentional. He proposed within that first year, and we were married 90 days after the proposal. So Michael and I do this thing now. This is now that we're a little bit further into our marriage. I mean, we've only been married for almost 6 years, but we've implemented this thing where we ask each other, are you looking for me to listen to you, or are you looking for a solution from me?
Okay.
Because that will determine whether I am going to start, giving him all the solutions to everything he's saying. I have all the advice for him. You want Baba? or it's going to give me a chance just to listen and not say anything at all. Sometimes he doesn't want my feedback. So within that though, there's those arguments where like it's taking everything inside of me not to say something back or not to I just don't agree with his stance. I don't agree with his opinion or whatever the case is. And I think it's just about humility, honestly. It is. It's like setting pride aside. You don't need to always be heard and you don't need to always be right.
We both we're very strong. We both have very strong personalities.
Yeah. Very dominant.
And so, you know, a lot of times I try not to be so strong, you know, before coming, you know, kind of focusing my life back to, you know, to Christ. I always was very self-righteous and I'm still very matter of fact, but
yeah,
but I don't need to press the issue of an argument.
Right.
And so I try not to be too strong of a personality.
Wow. Refocusing ourselves so that our strong personality doesn't come out. I loved how Mike said that and how Alicia actually said that they start off with, are you looking for me to listen or you need a solution?
Right.
That's that preface thing.
Yes.
You know, I love you, but here's that same thing, right?
Right. I think that's important.
Mm-hmm.
That's important. Especially if you're, I'm going to say in demand, you're busy, you have things happening. So we have things happening that we do together, but we have things happening that are part of, you know, my individual portion of life and her individual portion. So we have to be intentional with what, you know, when we sit down to talk or play or whatever it is, you know, we got to be intentional about that. I need to know what you need me to do, you know, so I can do it and we can get to a solution. But that's powerful.
Yes. So it was just great. Thank you so much. I love how they said humility. You have to walk in humility and pride has to be set aside. We're going to move on. Thank you, Mike and Alicia, to Kathy and George Brown.
If we have those moments when we have to take something real unique and special to say to one another, after 20 minutes of me saying what I said to you, I'm good. I'm good. We can get in the car and ride from here to Georgia.
I know that's right.
But this is my girl right here. So I make room for her because when she says something to me, she want to make sure that I heard it.
That you heard it.
So
right.
And that's one of those differences.
Right.
You tell me one time I'm good, but she will say, she wants to make sure, so she'll make sure she come back knocking and knocking and knock, but it's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. So let's say because of where we're at in our relationship, it's not a threat. I don't have to say, well, I'm this and that. No, who I am who you are.
Wow. Wow.
And vice versa. She is who I am.
Wow.
So there are moments when I lead and there are moments when she says, hey, he's tired. I'm leading. So when she leads, it doesn't mean she steps in front or steps forward. She steps right where she's always been, by the side. So she won't let anybody else get to me until I get my rest.
Come on.
And so when I assume my leadership, it's a smooth transition. It's not a struggle for dominance. It's a smooth transition. See, we don't have that kind of a thing. Not saying that we're perfect. That's why I say every day we're meeting each other. We're finding out who we are. See, that type of thing.
When you get married at first, things are different. But as you're staying married,
yes,
I would say maybe in this 5 or 7 years, it changes.
Yes.
And if you're willing to change with that marriage, it can grow.
Yes.
And then it'll change again as your marriage gets older.
Yes.
It doesn't stay the same. You don't stay the same.
Come on,
the person
absolutely
doesn't stay the same.
Go-to strategy to kind of deal with.
Oh, that was our last one. I was just blessed by these two. I think they were the couple are as we call them, vintage couple that had the most time in, and they talked about change, how marriage grows. I loved how Mr. George talked about how she's always been in her position. It's not that one's ahead of her or she's beneath. She's always been right there where she's supposed to be, beside me.
Yes.
Beside me. So there is no dominance. He's saying that she's my girl. She's my girl. Yeah. We have a conversation and we get ourselves together and we go do whatever it is that we're going to do.
Yeah.
They hit it all.
Yeah.
They hit it all. They hit it all. No transition. Smooth transition, no struggle for dominance. And then Kathy said, if you are willing to change with the marriage and grow, it can be something good.
Wow.
So Kathy and George Brown, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. So for the 2023 28 Days of Love clip, we are still gleaning from you.
Yes.
It's not that it happened then and that's it. No, we are still gleaning. I'm still posting those clips because there's so much to learn from when someone else's experiences are.
Right. And if you'd like to see any of the last year's interviews, just you go to our the page, the 28 Days of Love page on Facebook, and click the guides tab, GUIDES, and you can scroll down. And all of the interviews from last year are still there.
Yeah, the full interview.
If you want to see the full interview. We just pulled out pieces and clips. So anyway, that's what we have there. Listen, thank you for tuning in, jumping in, logging in, hanging in with us tonight. It was a long one, but I think this was fun. See, that's what you get for us not really talking all this time and just asking questions. Now you give us a chance to talk, but we just unloaded, gave you a whole truckload, right?
I don't even know what time it is. Oh,
yeah, it's been said the whole hour and a half.
Oh my God, we're supposed to be done at 7.
So anyway, we love you. We love you. We love you. Thank you, and thank you for helping us make marriage famous.
Yes.
This covenant of marriage life is the best life. And we'll see you back here tomorrow night, God willing.
Yes, we have George and Ingrid. Yeah, Ingrid. I'm saying her name wrong.
I forget the last name.
Stubbs. And it's going to be amazing, you guys. We'll see you tomorrow night. Share, tell somebody about it because marriage is the best life. Thank you. God bless and have a good evening.
And thanks for tuning in for
28 Days of Love.
Marriage is one of the best decisions I ever made.
God ordained and established this covenant. We are a part of that beautiful union.
So it's time that we promote this unconditional love and help families understand how.
Through prayer,
faith,
commitment,
sacrifice,
humility,
submission,
and the love of God,
you can have a beautiful,
lifelong,
loving marriage. Now, it won't be perfect,
but it will be worth it.
So join us for 28 Days of Love
on February 1st through the 29th at 6 p.m.
as we celebrate love and marriage
and change the visual narrative we see on social media by presenting a healthy marriage
and share the benefits of covenant.
You can expect to hear encouraging testimonies,
communication tips,
how to relate with your mate,
establish new love goals and grow,